Good morning, everyone, and welcome to UMBC's December 2020 Graduate School Commencement Ceremony. We will begin shortly and would like to make you aware of some presentation features. Please note that you can feel free to make comments and send congratulations via the comment section available on both YouTube and Facebook. We invite you to join us for additional videos immediately following the ceremony. A copy of the commencement program, a link to watch the individual graduate slides, many of which have wonderful photos, and hear the names announced. Now we are ready to begin. Please join me in welcoming our Grand Marshal, Dr. Orianne Smith.
I am Dr. Orianne Smith, President of the UMBC Faculty Senate and Associate Professor in English. As President of the Faculty Senate, I serve as Grand Marshal of these proceedings. Note that I am carrying the University Mace, a symbol of presidential authority. The tradition of the mace derives from medieval times in England, when the mace was held by a bodyguard for dignitaries at ceremonial functions. Maces are used by governing agencies worldwide, including the U.S. House of Representatives and the British Parliament. Used only on formal academic occasions, it symbolizes the university's governing authority and is present only when the president is in attendance. At UMBC, the mace is used exclusively at our yearly opening convocation and at our commencement ceremonies. UMBC's mace was commissioned by the Alumni Association for UMBC's 20th anniversary in 1986. When we host commencement in person, the mace sits on the stage in view of everyone. Now, enjoy your day, graduates.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce the Vice Provost and Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Janet Rutledge.
Greetings. Today we come together to celebrate the achievements of our graduates. With or without the traditional ceremony, the conferral of master's and doctoral degrees is recognized around the world as signifying the highest standard of achievement in the disciplines, subjects, and professions sponsored by UMBC. This is one of life's happiest and most significant milestones for each of our graduates. It is a milestone not only for those earning degrees, but for all of us here today. It is a special moment during which we can witness the fruits of the many labors in our community and take pride in the remarkable work that takes place here at UMBC. The degree earned from UMBC reflects significant achievement, often involving substantial personal sacrifice and struggle. For the pursuit of new knowledge and understanding involves growth and change. As we pay tribute to you today, we also acknowledge the faculty and staff who have encouraged, mentored, and inspired you to achieve your very best at UMBC. We recognize, too, those who have supported you during your studies at UMBC. We know how much your families and friends have provided throughout the experience. This is their day, too. Those of you receiving degrees will transition from being students to being alumni. Whatever career pathway you choose, you represent the very best of the future. You have embarked on one of the most important journeys of your lives, and we are all very, very proud of you. President Hrabowski has been reminding us to keep hope alive during this pandemic. I was reading an inspirational email earlier this week where hope was described as harvesting opportunities and possibilities every day. As we reflect on the meaning of this day and salute all that you've achieved, we also celebrate the commencement of all you have yet to achieve. So keep harvesting opportunities and possibilities every day, and you will be sure to achieve your dreams. Congratulations from all of us.
I'm Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, and on behalf of the people of a proud state, I want to extend our most sincere congratulations to the winter graduates of the class of 2020. This is certainly not the graduation day that any of you anticipated or hoped for, but it in no way lessens your accomplishments or diminishes your achievements. In the midst of this unprecedented public health crisis, you persevered and continued to stay Maryland strong. I hope this moment in our history serves as a reminder to all of you to always expect the unexpected and don't get thrown off course when obstacles appear from out of nowhere. During the course of your life, you're going to face moments of great adversity and uncertainty. It's during these times where it becomes more important than ever to remember to stay true to who you are and always stay positive. Together, we are going to defeat this deadly virus. And because of the talent and dedication of the members of the class of 2020, I am incredibly optimistic that the state of Maryland will soon return stronger and better than ever. Congratulations, stay safe, and may God bless you all.
Greetings. I am delighted to have the opportunity to extend best wishes and congratulations from the University System of Maryland and Board of Regents. I know this is not the commencement that any of us had envisioned. We would certainly rather celebrate together. And it is unfair that your class has been deprived of what should have been a day of pure joy and celebration of what you have accomplished. But I would submit that these circumstances, harsh as they may be, are not without reward. A light has shone on your tenacity. It would have been so easy to let the situation overwhelm you, bury you, but you fought on and you prevailed. That is worthy of recognition. For those same reasons, I want to give recognition and thanks to your president, Freeman Hrabowski, and his entire team. Under circumstances more challenging than anyone could have imagined, Dr. Hrabowski continues to prove himself as a driven, dynamic, and tireless leader. Freeman, the UMBC, the USM, and the state of Maryland are truly fortunate to be able to call you one of our own. And of course, I want to recognize the outstanding faculty and staff at UMBC who are preparing analytical and socially responsible graduates and leaders. The University System of Maryland is very proud of UMBC. By any measure, national rankings, research grants, public service activities, faculty accomplishments, scholarship, and student achievements, the institution stands as one of the finest universities in the country and in the world. But of course, it is your accomplishment and hard work that we celebrate today. While this past year has been turned upside down, nothing can diminish the hard work, persistence, and dedication that has gotten each of you to where you are. Likewise, nothing should be allowed to lessen the pride you and your friends and family take in what you have accomplished in reaching this milestone. Sadly, there may be some of you who have family and friends who are no longer with us, but we know that they are here in spirit and are very proud of you also. And so congratulations to all of you. Today, you become an enduring part of UMBC's proud and impressive legacy. No matter what direction your life now takes, no matter what challenges you will confront, know that your education here has prepared you well. Once again, congratulations to all of you, and know the entire University System of Maryland family wishes you all the best in the years to come.
Now we welcome Mr. Alex Riddle, President of the Graduate Student Association, who is pursuing a doctorate degree in Geography and Environmental Systems.
Greetings. It is my humble pleasure to be addressing you all today, winter 2020 graduates of UMBC. I extend a heartfelt congratulations, and I hope you will allow me to join with you in that collective sigh of relief. It feels good, doesn't it? Now, it's easy to get caught up in the negatives over the past year. You know, we've had a scary health pandemic that has caused you to unable to finish your degree and celebrate as you normally would, coupled with a really ugly political fight that definitely has left our country both on edge and a bit fractured. But as we know, as the vessel of healing escapes from the tunnel, it is greeted by a new light of hope. Just as no matter how harsh the winter is, a new spring emerges better than ever and with new beginnings. And we are seeing the budding of the flowers and the growing of the fruits from these seeds of hope that we planted. And even though we may not know yet when that harvest date is, we know through our efforts that it's coming soon. Now, this time has required us to accept change, and change is hard. Why? Well, as Dr. Freeman Hrabowski writes in his book, The Empowered University, change requires courage. Courage because it requires to see things differently from the way they are at present. Change necessitates courage because it requires a leap of faith. Change requires grit because it doesn't happen overnight. Also in his book, Freeman defines grit as commitment and resilience. And that is something that certainly has defined us over the past year. But while we have been forced to be a resilient community, this isn't anything new for us. You know, there are many examples of grit and excellence in our graduate student population. We have individuals working tirelessly to feed the homeless, the undernourished, the impoverished. We have budding scientists working to cure cancer, create vaccines, and cure other diseases. We have engineers designing rovers to go to planets beyond Earth. We have conservationists working to protect our most vulnerable ecosystems and communities. But most importantly, we have people helping each other just because they want to see them successful. I can say with confidence and with pride that the character of our community is outpaced by no one. And it has been the pleasure of my lifetime to work with the campus leadership over this past year as we navigate on these uncharted waters, the uncharted waters of this time. You know, and it's not a coincidence that only a few letters separate selflessness and selfishness, and while it's so easy to get caught up in the latter, especially when it's you that has so much at stake, I have found that members of this community are focused only on the former, selflessness over selfishness. Examples include working extra hours beyond what is required, double booking their calendars just to make sure that all voices are heard and to make sure that we are inclusive and respectful of everyone. The compassion here is contagious. That is our grit. There is grit, and then there is UMBC grit. But also, a UMBC grad knows that accomplishments are not about the attention or the notoriety that may or may not be received. No, we do what we do because we want to make the world, our community, and our homes a better version. The late John Lewis, who's also a Baltimorean, once said, "Nothing can stop the power of a committed and determined people to make a difference in our society." Why? Because human beings are the most dynamic link to the divine on this planet. Remember, be proud of your accomplishments, but do not be complacent. Inquisitiveness is what leads to discovery. and discovery puts us on the pathway to meaningful progress. And the aura of effective change is as infectious as any virus we may encounter. I congratulate again the class of 2020, and as we close the first year of this new decade, I want you to think about how you want to define this decade, not only for yourself, but for your community. Let that grit, that UMBC grit that you developed here, be that guiding light that takes you there, and be an active part of that movement. Lead, challenge, ask difficult questions. Be wrong so that you can be right later. Push yourself. Do not let the small defeats distract you from the larger victories. And lastly, love and care for one another like your life depends on it. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from UMBC's Provost and Senior Vice President, Dr. Philip Rouse, who serves as our Chief Academic Officer.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the scholarly community we call our UMBC, I would like to extend my congratulations to our graduates today. We applaud your commitment to the highest forms of learning and scholarship and the hard work that has brought you to this singular and rewarding day. This ceremony reminds me of the words of G.K. Chesterton, that education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. So today we acknowledge not only your accomplishments, but also, in some sense, the passing of the torch from one generation to another. Today, you will join our community of UMBC alumni who dedicate their lives to making a difference by advancing our understanding of our own humanity, our democracy, and the natural world that surrounds us. Your achievement represents not just your academic accomplishments, but the friendships you formed, the faculty that have nurtured you, and the family and friends who supported you and helped you arrive here today. So I hope you will see your achievement as emerging from within the context of a community that knows you and cares about you. So in conclusion, I would like to leave you with my final salutation. May you enjoy a life rich in the knowledge that each day your work and your relationships have truly made a difference. Congratulations.
Now we will hear from Mr. Brian Frazee, the president of the UMBC Alumni Association Board of Directors.
Hello, class of 2020. My name is Brian Frazee, and I have the honor of serving as president of the UMBC Alumni Association Board of Directors. Our board represents the alumni community of over 83,000 strong. Upon your graduation today, you will automatically become members of the UMBC Alumni Association. There are numerous campus resources that will still be available to you, including access to the Career Center and the UMBC Library. This spring, we will be launching a new effort called Retrievers Connect, which will provide alumni and students the resources to make meaningful professional and career connections. Please look out for communications from the UMBC family, including from UMBC Magazine, as well as the Retriever Roundup, our alumni newsletter. You all are entering the next chapter of your lives at an unprecedented time in our history. But UMBC is here for you, your fellow alumni are here for you, and we have no doubt that you will succeed in whatever path you choose to lead. Congratulations again.
We now welcome Dr. Freeman Rabowski, president of UMBC.
Good morning. I am delighted to be speaking with you today. And I begin with words from a great American, Eleanor Roosevelt. She said this: "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Congratulations this day, because this day is about your future and about your dreams. First, a few general comments. I hope you will take the time to tell your family members and friends, some of whom might be watching this ceremony with you today, just how much you appreciate them, and that there's nothing more important in any of our lives, in our relationships, than our family and our friends and our mentors and our supporters. Next, I'd like to ask you to think about our faculty and our staff here at UMBC and what they've done to support you during this journey. In your own ways, please find a way to acknowledge their dedication to your success. And when I do this, something my friends at Gallaudet do, I want you, if you will, in your homes just to applaud for a minute. We're being creative today. And now let me acknowledge our campus leaders, including the vice presidents and deans of our colleges and schools and other members of the President's Council and our shared governance leaders, students, staff, and faculty who've been guiding the university during this challenging period. Thank you. You've already heard from Governor Hogan and Regent Gooden this morning. Please join me in thanking them because we are very fortunate in this state to be guided by elected officials who understand the value of higher education and what it means to be a part of this university system of Maryland under the leadership of Chancellor Jay Perman and the Board of Regents. Give all of them a round of applause. Isn't this creative? I know many of our graduates have family members who are UMBC alumni. You're all a part of that wonderful group mentioned by the UMBC Alumni Association Board of Directors President Brian Frazee earlier in the ceremony. We also have staff and family members of faculty and staff graduating today. We want to congratulate all of you. And I'd like to recognize those students graduating today who are veterans and members of the military. We appreciate your service every day. We always believe in the importance of congratulating our people, our students, our graduates who are going on into careers as teachers, as social workers, as healthcare workers, and others in public service. We appreciate all that you do for all of us. Thank you. You are a very special class in the evolution of UMBC. In fact, you're graduating 50 years after the first commencement, which was celebrated in the year 1970. There are friends of ours, alumni from that class, and we celebrate together. And I always bring up the personal note that my girlfriend and I then, and now my wife Jackie and I graduated that same year in 1970. It was a very special year. You know, history tells us so much about who we are today and who we will be in the future. And just as you, as members of this class, are experiencing all types of challenges as we go through this period with COVID-19, as we go through the challenges of political divisions, as we go through the economic issues that we're facing, I want you to know that those of us in your class from before, the class of 1970, 50 years ago, went through all these kinds of things and were feeling then as you feel, as we all feel now. In fact, those of us who grew up during that period experienced in the 60s the assassination of our beloved President John Kennedy, of our beloved leader, Dr. Martin Luther King, and many other wonderful leaders. We experienced racial violence and church bombing of the little girls in Birmingham, my friends. We experienced friends who were drafted and went off to the war, in the Vietnam War, and never came home. This was a period of civil rights activism and of social protest. We were trying to understand what was going on around us, and we kept asking, will we be okay? We were confronted with turmoil, with uncertainty and tragedy, and we saw the results of injustice every day. And yet, even as we ask the question that you're asking now, will we get through this? The lesson from that period is that we must have hope. We must believe in ourselves and care about other people. We must recognize the work we must do to dismantle discrimination of all kinds in our society. Our attitude in that time of adversity shaped who we have become over the years. And we see that progress is never linear. We make 2 steps forward, we go back. That's the unpredictability of human behavior. And so what I challenge you to think about, 2 things. Number 1, how you can give hope to others around you. And number 2, to envision yourselves 50 years from now and know that you will be ready to say, what did I do during that time of trial? I did my best. That's all we can ask, that you do your best. And my message, after going through that 50-year period from 1970 to 2020, is to say, I am confident you will do just that. You will do your best. These are the times for moral leadership. We must be guided by our values of seeking the truth, of integrity, of inclusion, of fairness. And we can be grateful for the hard work of all of our alumni, from those in the front lines in healthcare, doctors and nurses and others, to researchers, to public health workers, to the social workers, to the artists and humanists who are lifting our souls and working on all kinds of projects to help people. And we thank all those alumni for what they're doing. You're getting ready to join that group. I want to mention, in the spirit of hope, 2 of our alumni, 2 women. So they are alumni, 1 alumna, 2 alumni. They are Dr. Caitlin Sattler from the class of 11, just graduated, if you think about it, not quite 10 years ago in biology. She's now, after completing a PhD at Hopkins and postdoc at MIT, she is now at NIH as leader of the investigation on asymptomatic patients, COVID patients, in the nation. Look at her TED Talk. She's an amazing scientist. And the other is Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, who came from rural North Carolina, came here, got her degrees in biology and sociology, and really appreciates that sociocultural aspect of these health challenges we face. Went back to Chapel Hill, got a PhD, came back, postdoc at NIH, and is now the lead scientist in developing the vaccine. And in fact, of the leading coronavirus vaccines, of those candidates, 5 of those candidates are with her work, the work of her team, as the basis of the work that they've done. So when you take that vaccine, remember there's a UMBC alumni right there helping you. It has been my tradition at commencements to quote the words of my mentor and our beloved first president, Alvin Kuhn, when he spoke to the graduating class of 1970. And I get goosebumps just remembering my own background as a kid, a young man in 1970, but thinking about, just as I was graduating, Dr. Kuhn was speaking to the first people here. And he said this: if you bring to the future the same personal qualities and personal commitment that you brought to this campus as students, good and important things will happen to each of you and to those around you, and the university will be proud to have played a part in your lives. I can just say that we know we will be proud. We already are. And now let me leave you with my final words. Be confident, even in these challenging times, especially in these challenging times, knowing that the education you received here gives you a solid foundation for the rest of your lives, not just about a skill and getting a job, all of which is important, but about a way of thinking about the world, a way of connecting to human beings, an understanding of the complexity of the human condition. Know that if you persevere, you will reach your goals, though you'll be certain to be challenged and tested along the way. But the point is, you've already been challenged. Every one of you has a story. Remember your stories and remember how you overcame. Remember the grit you've used. Remember the people who've loved you, who've helped you get to this point. Remember your dreams, and most important, your character, because it will be your dreams and your character that will most clearly define not only who you are today, but who you will be in the future. And that character is reflected in the courage you possess as you speak your truth and in the compassion you show for other people. So be true to yourselves. Be true in your relationships. Always reach out to elevate people, because your very future depends on your ability to connect meaningfully to others. Before I finish, to those receiving master's degrees, you have worked so hard, and this is the moment all of us would normally be smiling and cheering, and what I want you to do is to take a moment, your families, and applaud yourselves, because well done would be the words we would want all of you to hear. Well done. And now a few words to those receiving PhDs. All of us wish we could be there together, all of us, for the special moment when usually mentors and families are there and we actually do the official hooding. I want you to use your imagination and sense that hooding process and all the people applauding. Everybody, applause, applause. Use our creativity, the creative spirit. Congratulations to the class of 2020. You're now officially alumni of UMBC. You will always be connected to each other and to this campus. Remember, this is your home. I hope you will now join us in the singing of the alma mater.